Okay, it's 7 o'clock, let's have a planning board meeting. Meeting will be in order. We have 4 members of the planning board present. We have a quorum. We can go ahead with this. It's time for the reading of the minutes.
Whew, put your seatbelt on.
So
Okay, Nickel.
I am willing to say that we have all on the planning board read the minutes.
Yes.
And we've had them emailed to us. And I'm willing to call for a waiving of the reading of the minutes.
Have anything to say for that, David?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't read them, so I would just abstain from the vote, but I don't have a problem.
You have no objection?
No.
I feel very biased as the one who has to read those long minutes.
Do you really like to do it?
No.
He was whining over here.
I was, that's why Joe was trying to rescue me.
Well, I know he's trying to do like a Shakespearean presentation, you know. Okay, was that a motion?
That's a
Do I
motion.
hear a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, waive the reading of the minutes in the interest of time and.
Can I ask a question about that though? Does that mean we have to read them at a later date, or are we gonna approve them as written?
Approved as written. Let me amend my motion to
I wish you would.
waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as written.
Been moved and seconded, all those in favor? 3 in favor, 1 abstention.
Abstain, yeah.
Okay, couple things coming up. Before we get to the big event tonight.
Can I say, Dave, do you want me to say that you abstained because you hadn't read them, or just that you abstained?
Abstain.
I'm just abstaining.
Cool.
Or I could do the senator, what's the Alaska senator?
Yeah.
I'm present.
Yeah.
Yeah. A status thing, last month, the big honking typhoon went across Saipan and Tinian and tore the place apart, including some of Uncle Sam's, antennas. And I've been informed that probably late January and a good piece of February, I'm going to be absent from the board. So, because I'll be in
You can tell us where this is?
in Saipan, yeah. What they are is shortwave broadcasting stations. It used to be VOA, now it's International Broadcasting Board of Governors or something. They broadcast American propaganda into Asia, and they feel it's very important. And anyway, it looks like that's what's gonna happen. So I would ask, a good rate of participation from other planning board members, cause we got some important stuff coming up, and we'll be down 1 member on the squad, and I may have to go back later, I don't know. But anyway, that's what I know for now, so, try hard to get here on. Second thing, deadline for submission of, articles to the town meeting warrant is the 9th of January, which is a Wednesday, I think. I'll bet if we had to give something to Danielle on Thursday, well, actually Friday after that, we could. Do any of the members of the board have any things that they would like to develop?
Date again, I'm sorry.
The deadline is 9th of January. Do any members of the board have any matters that they would like to address, that we could at least come up with with an article for the town warrant, and then we'd have the rest of January to work on it? Anything in particular?
I do not.
Okay, there is one thing. Our shoreland zoning ordinance was, since we brought the shoreland zoning ordinance to town meeting last March, everybody agreed on it, voted on it. The DEP changed a number of things in it, mostly making things more strict. They changed our 75-foot stream setback to 100 feet, despite the fact that we tried to get it otherwise. Right now, the town of Baldwin is operating under a DEP, essentially a decree that mandates it. They would like us to basically ratify it. I'm so disappointed and ugly about it, I just sort of let it sit, but the proper thing to do would be to re-present it to the people of Walden. And if we approve it, that's fine. If we turn it down at town meeting, it's still stuffed down our throat. So what do you guys wanna do?
I'd pass if it's, do we have any problem enforcing it?
Yeah, we don't enforce it.
You know, or what, I mean,
It's a little more strict than the other thing, but it's all along.
no, but I mean, can we enforce it if it's not our ordinance, it's the state's mandate on us?
I believe we are stuck with enforcing it either way.
Why bother?
So de facto, it's already 100 feet whether we vote on it or not.
Yeah, and if we turn it down.
So why do we care what the DEP wants us to do? They didn't listen to what we wanted to do.
My thoughts
it's
exactly.
I mean, I
Okay.
that's no different.
We'll let that one ride. Do the selectmen have any thoughts on that?
You're gonna lose either way.
Yeah.
So why go through that?
We're either gonna take the
You're gonna be
medicine,
held at 100 feet.
Yeah.
we're either gonna take our medicine when they give it to us with a spoon, or else they're gonna take a syringe and stuff it down our throat. Take your choice.
Yeah.
Wes?
The communication DEP had with you, does that mean that it has not been accepted by the state yet?
No, the state essentially put a decree on us that says, there you go. They'd like us to smile and sign it, but no, it's law.
Okay, so, in other words, they'd be happy if you agree with their changes.
Yeah, well, like I said, they wanna kick us in the butt and then have us smile and say thank you.
Should we make a motion and pass that we're not gonna do anything, or no?
Well, yeah, and the reason I ask is because I heard that the state accepted it June 14th, and I had mentioned earlier that property down by, where
Yeah.
you used to live down by the rivers was in question, and now that it's shoreland and resource protection,
Yeah,
it may affect that, but I did find a loophole, which I want to discuss later.
okay.
So, is it anything happening with that, the flood maps?
Nope, no, the FEMA and the state flood people will get in touch with us sometime soon, which to them is basically on, geotectonic basis.
They're waiting for the changing of the guard.
I don't know what we're waiting for.
It's already been 3 years, ain't it?
Yeah, but they said they're still not 100% ready to present it to us. Sue Baker and somebody else down in Boston, and I haven't been in touch with them for a year, but they said, hold your horses, we'll get to you. So anyway, there you go. Okay, if somebody wants to move that we'll pass on it, we can, or we can just let it ride.
I wouldn't do anything.
All right, okay, nature's wilderness. For two reasons, we didn't have a site walk. Things got in later than it needed to be. I would have been happy to have the electronic copy, Monday morning for the, even though the deadline is right. We don't have to do that one. But I would have been happy to have it, but it wasn't until Wednesday that it was available to the town. And actually, Danielle didn't get it until the following Monday, but as far as I'm concerned, submitted on Wednesday. But anyway, that was too late. Anyway, we got too much cussing snow. What I want to do is, David Strock, basically went through our ordinance. Do you have your copy, David?
I wasn't able to get one.
Oh, well.
Good. Well, I'll let you finish what you're gonna say, I'm sorry.
No, this is,
I just was going to ask that at some point we go through the submission, because I've got a lot of questions on this.
okay. We can do that too, but what I want to do right now, and that's part of plotting strategy, what I want to suggest is that David came up with this 7-page thing, which basically walks you through many aspects of the town land use ordinance. And I would like to use that as a template for our discussions as we move forward. David, it says draft conditional use permit. There are findings of facts. There are indications of possible conditions. I think your intent was those are starting points for discussion. It may be that way, it may be better, maybe worse. But anyway,
Email me a copy of that.
does anybody but me have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He handed it out to everybody.
Yeah,
You got a copy too.
Yeah, you guys got copies too. Yeah, okay.
Are you kind of proposing as a template as we go through this?
Yeah.
You discuss a lot of things.
Yeah, because basically, David, the way I see it, you kinda, use the land use ordinance as your framework for going down through things, point by point. Is that accurate?
So I set it up that the campground was the primary use, and then went through the ordinance, looked at any possible, what do they call it, accessory use.
Yeah,
And then looked at the primary use and said, what are all the factors, what are all the conditions that we have to look at
right,
in the ordinance? And just wrote them in there saying, you will do the following, parodying the ordinance,
right,
and then added some bells and whistles that I cared about. And then went to the first accessory use and said retail business. What's the ordinance say about retail business? Is there any other bells and whistles I think should be added? Went to the next accessory use, because I think that the concern I have, which I think they've alleviated, but it's more what we don't want them to do than what we want them to do. Like, they want to do a bunch of stuff, and I think we're cool with a lot of the stuff they want to do, but we don't want that to expand beyond into other areas, so we need to figure out how to say, we're cool with this, but don't go over in this way.
yep.
So, that was my thought, and I found it very difficult to think about this project in the abstract, and this helped me kind of coalesce my thoughts.
You've done a good
I'm
piece.
hoping to go through the application rather than what David's, I mean, it's like, what David's got is way down the road to me.
Yeah,
I gotta understand the application.
okay, we'll do that too. But again, I would like to establish this as a template for organizing our thought processes.
Sure.
And again, many of the things.
No, I hear you discussing kind of as we work through this over the next several meetings, not just tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This, now we're getting things, we're putting in gear and we're moving down the road a little bit. Obviously, some of the things that we're going to be considering, we do need to be on the ground and look at. However, just going to, paragraph 2, if there's a retail business there. We don't need to walk on site to talk about a retail business, so there's a whole lot of stuff we can get together and get done and get checked off before the glacier goes back to wherever it came from. And then we won't have a hell of a lot to do. So, does everybody have an application?
Yep.
Okay.
I did bring, that overall plan if you wanna.
Oh, yeah,
Use those.
big deep dives.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's 4 or 5 there,
Okay, actually,
and I have one
Let's-
on the board.
let's get one of those right on that wall over there.
See what it is.
Look at this, we got some thumbtacks here, 1 or 2.
Yes.
Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, let's put it this way. Oriented into the wall.
It's the same thing we got on the application.
3-hole punch.
So there's nothing on this
Nope.
side here right now.
That's a booger.
And
Every
this is
wall.
the project.
Oh, you got one. Yeah, one. Okay,
190 acres. I mean, 190 campsites, yeah. And how many acres?
It's in there somewhere, it's on the.
Okay. We'll get there.
So I'm just putting my third and binder back together.
Decide, would you like to,
Well, yeah,
read this part for a little bit?
well, I would wanna go down page by page here
Okay,
and just ask, you know, if there are any questions on a paragraph by paragraph basis.
okay. That's right. Okay, we're on the first page where it
Yep.
says existing property?
Existing property.
Okay.
And I don't have a question until I get down to the last sentence of the proposed project, that second paragraph.
Yeah,
And the last two words are associated utilities. And I'm just really, you know, this whole thing's been going on for quite a while. And there was stuff about an underground line, and I don't know what the story is on the electricity over there, and what are the legalities, and what are the permits, and is everything legal, and I'd just like to know. Do we know where the underground line is?
Yeah, that's been taken care of,
I mean, is it legal? Do you have permits?
Yep,
is it in Big Sink?
I'm not sure that there is a permit.
For instance, if I was to get appointed road commissioner, in Lakeland, and I was to go over there with a backhoe for, I don't know, dig up a skunk hole or something, whatever I had to do, how would I do that safely? If it's not in Big Sink?
I'll have to look into the big safe, but there is a permit pulled on that through Central Maine Power in the state.
We're going over that with you guys on that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it isn't finished yet, though, is it?
What's that?
Our agreement that we had with the,
The road agreement
On the road.
is finished, but the power.
yeah, the power was established within that agreement.
Oh, within the road maintenance
Within the
agreement?
road
I
maintenance
don't remember
agreement.
that.
So,
Yeah.
do we have a copy of that?
You should, I believe so, Joe.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's on one page, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not a lot of,
It may be my fault that I haven't seen it, you know?
it's 2-3 pages. Yeah, 2-3 pages. I think we gave you a copy of it.
I have seen it, I know I've seen it.
And just, you know, going through this, I wanna make sure that all permits are in place, all, you know, just, I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying,
Nobody's saying that, we're all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Within that, Joe, the electrical was established on.
This is the one I have, it says Marston's Road Reconstruction Agreement. And contract is made 9th of October between them. Shall rebuild and improve Marston's Road to a condition that fills the town of Malden road specifications for inspection of the road commissioner at no cost to town within 1 year of the date above. The reconstruction of the road, no cost to the town. Efron shall furnish a performance bond of so much money. Efron further agrees to name the town of Malden as an additional insured in insurance and talks about bonding and liability. I don't see anything about why.
I think I got some stuff.
Is there something more on
There's
it?
more to that, yes. I think there was a.
That's just on the roads, all that is,
Yeah,
Okay, well,
but in amongst our talks, there was a schematic that came out there that showed where the electrical was.
this was the only thing I ever got.
Okay, we'll get you the rest of it.
Okay.
I am wondering if going through this whole thing, we shouldn't have copies of all permits that
Yeah,
they have to pull, you know, whether it was the state or whoever they're pulling
Yeah.
permits with.
yeah,
Because I wanna cover my butt,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
on that.
I mean, if Wes issues a permit for a septic tank,
We should have it.
give us a Xerox of it.
Yep.
Well, because my question was in the first paragraph, it talks about only structures and features permitted prior to March 2018 will be located within the resource protection area. I don't know what those are. Which structures?
So that's part of why we have a sidewalk.
Yeah, that's a TBD later, TBD.
But I mean, even if I go walk around, I'm not gonna know what was permitted prior to March 2018.
So we need copies of all the
Yeah,
permits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wes has got that info and, you know, later we get it.
So some of this is intergovernmental.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not, there's stuff I'm not covering here because it's a generalized statement. And when we get to specifics on some of this stuff, then I'll ask questions.
yeah. Now, do I have November 2018? I'm looking in the title that says proposed project on that same page. Preliminary plans feature 190 campsites. Gary, I thought it was 260.
It's 199.
This application was for 190 campsites.
Okay,
We dropped it down because we couldn't have the sites in the backside of the pond because of the resource protection.
okay, you scratched them all out. Okay,
If
okay.
you see on the plan, nothing on the backside, remember, we had the loop of campsites
Yes,
there?
yes, okay, okay.
That's all been eliminated because of the resource protection.
Makes sense, okay. I didn't put it two together.
So there's nothing to the south of Marston Pond.
Basically nothing, no
Nothing.
campsites to the south of the road.
Of Marston Road, right?
Right.
Marston, right.
Okay. Okay, let's come to place, page Josiah.
So, yeah, is there any problem, I mean, they're saying that they're gonna have all underground utilities. And, should we be concerned with where those lines are and how deep they are, and should, you know, going forward, people with bulldozers and backhoes and.
That's private property. And if you put, I mean, I'm thinking out loud, you put an electric line under a road, somebody, the road commissioner, road agent, has a right to know about it, has a need to know about it.
Yeah.
If you bury a piece of type UF from your house out to your chicken house, so the chickens have light, there are standards for doing that, but I don't think it's anything I have to worry about. Wes?
Not having had the experience in this, I think if it's on public property, whoever did it, the CMP or the contractor would not, would have to map it and register it with
Yeah.
Dig Safe.
Right.
As far as going to private property, I don't know. For instance, the house up here on Senator Black Road, the big house that was just recently built,
Yes.
they put their service line underground for
Yeah.
800 feet, 1,000 feet or
Right.
whatnot. I don't know if it's mapped or not, but
It's not your problem.
what connection is there between that and Dig Safe?
So there's a difference between a person's house and a business.
Yeah.
If I want to store, flammable liquids in my garage, it's my problem. If somebody comes in here for a garage permit, then it's our problem about them storing flammable liquids in their garage.
Well, okay, the difference between private and commercial may be a real line.
Exactly.
Now, is there a difference between Marston Road and Upper Twain Road? There's a line going across Marston Road, and I had that mapped, but going up Upper Twain Road, I don't know where that falls, it's probably.
It ain't a town
the
road.
Contractor.
But what, all I'm looking for is this done properly? I'm asking
Well-
that question. How do I know all this stuff is done properly?
My thought is that your insurance company might want to know. I was at a fairgrounds in New Hampshire one time. Guy pulled an RV camper in, and there's a ground lug up on the tongue. And being a good guy, he took out a green wire, put it on top of his little 4-foot ground rod, pounded it in the ground. This is at Hopkinton Fair, where they have 160 PSI water. You have to use the pressure reducer. He had all the guys, he was doing the right thing. But had that been an underground electrical line and he punched his ground rod into it, it could have been entertaining. Now, my point is that your insurance company might get upset with you, but I'm not sure it's our problem municipally.
I will say that all electrical work that we do up there is inspected by the state, it's done like that. I have no problem showing you guys that, we're not hiding anything. If it'll make you feel more comfortable,
It
we'll
would,
show it to you.
would make me feel more comfortable to see whatever permits you've got, from whoever you've got.
Like, what kind of a guy came and inspected it?
When CMP put the underground power in,
Yeah,
Ray, Let's look at his card.
Oh, no, Gary, I'm talking about when you run power to each campsite. Some of them are gonna have underground power that pops up to outlets, right?
Yeah, you get a work order from CMP, the state inspector comes out, Brian LaFlame, no, not Brian LaFlame,
Whoever.
yeah, he comes out and he inspects it as you go.
Okay,
They inspect it in 3 different steps.
And I will
but
say,
this is the stuff up in your property, not the stuff on the
Right.
road.
Exactly.
Right, and the septic systems would be the same thing, it's
Okay.
regulated by state.
I mean, I will share, I own a business where we put a lot of stuff underground,
Yeah.
wires and internet and all those things, and it all gets affected and
Yeah.
predicted.
Okay,
It's in your interest, you don't,
yeah.
someone's gonna come dig it up again in 10 years for some reason.
No, I just worry if some well-meaning damn fool comes along and thinks he's gonna drive a ground rod in, and oh shucks, he hits 240 volts. That's, I don't know why we have to worry about that. That's him and his insurance company.
Right, there's just different levels of regulation and your ordinance basically would get you into that if it was written that way. That you know, if the town had any regulation over the
Again, I
utilities in
think
the private property,
if we had a photocopy of their inspection reports on that,
just
It's no big deal.
I would think that covers the fact that we did look at this, we thought about it, and an official guy with an official inspector man badge came out and signed it off. That's good. I don't have to look at each one to see if there's a yellow tape 6 inches above it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're saying exactly what I'm asking.
Okay, okay, there's, I think it's a useful question.
Yes, because CMP won't power the meters without the proper inspection.
Yeah.
So if there's power to a CMP meter feeding our utilities,
Yeah.
something was done correctly.
So on page 2, we've got required state permits and project consultants, and we've covered just now that I wanna see all the permits that you get for whatever you get them for. And the second paragraph in that, the project will need an MDOT traffic permit. MDOT will evaluate the project impact to Route 113 and require improvements if necessary. William Bray, PE of Traffic Solutions, has prepared the traffic study. That study can be found in attachment 7. The applicant has previously agreed to upgrade Marston's Road to the town road standards from the intersection with Senator Black Road to the campground entrance, and we've recovered that we need that agreement. And he's got it?
I think he's got it.
Okay, I'd like to read it. And does this traffic study cover Senator Black Road? Okay, then we're gonna need it explained to us, because I looked at that traffic study and we need to talk to the engineer. I think we covered that before in a previous meeting.
yeah, we did, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, so just, making a note of that we need to talk to that engineer. So, campground rules,
Where are you, what page?
I'm on page 3.
Okay, let us know when you change page.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hours of entry, so you intend to have a gate? Or you,
Up by their guard check thing, right?
Yes.
so on, just off of, Marston's Road, you're gonna have like a cattle gate or something?
Double swinging gate, yeah.
Double swinging gate, okay. Wow. That's amazing to me. People won't be able to get in or out between 8 PM and 7 AM. You're gonna be open from 7 AM to 8 PM. Gates can be shut.
Nobody said the gate was gonna be shut at night.
Okay. That's why I'm asking,
Well,
because I'm confused.
yeah, on B, it's hours of entry. The gate, the campground generally open the gate at 7 AM and close the gate at 8 PM. I mean, what's that? Is that not really?
I'll reword that. I mean, we could do that, but I don't.
I think the intention is that they are accepting
Yeah,
clientele between those hours for
But if I
checking
wanna,
in,
I wanna go get beer at the Whistle.
or if I'm,
Still
if
leave
I'm
it.
in there camping, and I wanna run over to the pizza place in Cornish and come back at 10 at night, I obviously wanna do it. So it's not really,
they'll have
No, we're not corralling them there.
some sort of security.
too bad, I mean, it'd be fantastic. No.
And I'm just curious about what all that meant, you know, that was all.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know if I care, but I just,
No, it's, that's
You don't
just-
wanna write that and have that approved.
We'll
That-
we'll have this
yeah.
reworded, right?
Yeah.
that is a Florida thing. You know, gated communities are the big thing down in Florida. This kind of amazes me in a way, all the talk of gates and guard shacks and stuff, you know,
No, can I
yeah.
clear that up a little bit? Normally, I camp quite a bit, and like down Acres Wild, they have a guard shack there, but there's a gate. And you pull up to the guard shack, and when you wanna check in, there's either someone there, or
Yeah,
there's a speaker there, and they'll just say, I'm so-and-so, I got reservations, they'll open the gate, you go through and register.
yeah.
They also have, like, pass keys
Oh, okay.
to go in and out,
Sure.
you know, if they're kind of similar to that.
Yeah, yeah,
And they can go, campers can go in and out at will.
sure.
But it's regulated,
Okay.
so they know who's coming and going.
You don't have
So
too
then
many
Joe
vehicles.
can just go poke around.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, people like that.
so like if I go to a motel and there's a person on duty in a lighted room, you know, the reception.
Exactly, yeah.
Instead of having a reception room, it's more mobile.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And it, that sounds like what you
It
guys are
stops
gonna do.
the random person from coming in at 10 o'clock.
And stealing things
And-
and driving around, yeah.
Right, just causing ruckus, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay, no,
I just want to understand what's going on, that's all. You know, that's what I'm after.
Is what he just described what you guys are picturing?
Absolutely, yes. From 8 to 7, we're asking people to show up at 8 and not after 7. We can't physically hold people against the will, like hotels, they can come and go.
But that's like check-in time.
That's a check-in.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm not setting up my camper at 11 at night and
No,
keeping these guys
it's
away.
courtesy to show up between 8 and 7.
Okay, I
It's just like any public place here.
So wording somewhere, I mean, maybe that doesn't even belong in here,
Yeah, I know.
you know, not our,
Well,
not,
that's showing the hours of operation.
Well,
When it shows.
your
Yeah,
hours,
yeah,
it's operating 24
Yeah,
hours
yeah,
a
yeah.
day. Because people are camping in there at 2 AM and 2 PM.
Because what we don't wanna say is those are the hours of operation and people are complaining
Yeah.
because.
I would
people are
I would
driving
just
around.
change it to hours of operation to 24 hours between May 1st and October 31.
yeah.
That cut out a lot of misunderstanding.
But I think their goal is that they don't want
We don't want.
new RVs coming in.
No, but then you can
register
do whatever
at
you
10
want,
o'clock at
but
night.
what we approve should be 24 hours a day, right? Cause then we're not holding you accountable for.
We don't have to
showing up at
we don't have to make you kick everybody out at 8 o'clock at night.
9. Right.
Yeah. So you do what you want to.
Yeah.
This isn't something we want to be concerned with.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's an internal thing, yeah. And, reservations and rates, do we need to know about that?
I had asked about rates, cause I was just,
Yeah,
I forget why, but,
Doesn't even think about tax.
but the reservations will be open in February 1st is, something we're interested in because that's proof that they're not a subdivision. If they don't open the reservations till February 1st.
oh, okay.
And the rest of that is all about not being a subdivision. Vehicular access. Now, I know in David's, essay, he wants to be sure everybody comes in Marston's Pond Road after having come in Senator Black Road off of 113.
Despite what GPS is gonna try to send it to.
Yeah, and we need to talk about this because this goes back, you know, like 2 years ago when we first approached this. I'm not trying to direct traffic
Right.
any other way, but I'm concerned that there be entrance and egress from the other direction because of fire. I'm just really, I have all kinds of, doomsday visions of the campfire out in California with
Right.
You know, old duffers, 90-year-old duffers driving 40-foot campers and fire behind them and people, you know, the fire engine's not getting in. And so I'd just like to have it be that we could get in from two directions. And, you know, maybe you do direct them from one way, but I'd like to make it.
But make it open. Well, that, essentially, I think what they're trying to do is get people to come in from the center of the Black End.
Yeah, makes sense.
The mill has a sign down there that says mill this way, not up Brown Road.
Yeah.
I understand that more than one person has taken a trailer load of wood or something and gone up there and then tried to turn around at Jack Murphy's driveway or something, and, you know, it got all messed up. I don't know, did the state put that sign up?
At the request of the town, because that was the year I had off between my terms here. I know Olin was quite, he instigated that.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what happened. Tractor trailers was going up there.
Yeah.
Because of GPS was
Sure.
directed on Brown Road.
Yeah.
There's no interest to the mill, that's why they put the sign up. The entrance is out on 113.
Was that time consuming, expensive to get done?
I don't believe so.
I wonder if we might not do something like that, campground that way, not, you know.
You know what Google's gonna do?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna go to work down Brown Road, they're gonna say, oh, look, there's a shortcut.
Yeah.
They're gonna follow your cell phone. And then, you know, direct everybody that way. And that's what Google does, you know.
That's why I leave mine on the kitchen counter most of the time.
Well, you can work with Google to change Google Maps.
But we might think about
You might think about that.
do that, because the last thing we really need is somebody getting hung up there and then, oh shucks, we think we're gonna have a fire truck come in from both ends, or just somebody get up there and, I don't know, I suppose it's more money for Howard Burnell.
Yeah,
Call him
well,
out.
he said our low bid too.
Yeah.
He what?
They had a low bid, go up for 3X, a low bid, went up past Jack Murphy.
Yeah.
You get up into the
Yeah.
legislative player, the low bid come apart.
Oh, shoot.
Cause it bottomed out.
Yeah.
Somebody do the skidder road. Like, Howard had to get involved in that.
Yeah, well, he's got the big one there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, maybe we shouldn't say a word. More money for local boys.
We've gotta think that through. I don't have it thought through, but we've gotta think it through.
Yeah, we might get, but that's
I mean,
something,
again,
that's something the town can do, the applicant can't do that anyway.
yeah, I was gonna say, I've gone through there. I mean, you would need a lot of road work to get an RV out there.
Oh, I know, you don't want your campers
No.
going that way.
Well, they'll stave them up pretty
Some
good.
guy driving up there in a Mini.
But you're bringing up two things, don't go that way, and I want people to go that way if there's an emergency.
Well, I wanna have it open to fire department.
Yeah,
If,
or if you gotta get people out of there, just send them out of there to get them out of the campground and, you know.
yes, you could get a fire truck by there, yes, you could get
Yeah.
a rescue squad up through there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but that's why I wanna have an evacuation plan and some fire emergency procedures, like, I think it's super important for them to think about these things before there's any emergencies and to publish that to the guests, so people know,
Right.
if there is a fire, you'll be leaving your RV there. Don't expect to take your RV with you.
And I bet that's part of those ACA regulations that you guys are looking at.
But,
That would comfort me to know that was what you're planning.
but whether John, average guy, knew that and realized that, you know,
Or followed instructions.
or followed instructions.
Yeah, you can't,
Oh, I know.
can't fix something.
Can't fix this.
Why'd the camera switch from there to there?
Better looking group on this side.
That's
They
right.
they like the front shot of
Oh,
themselves.
Whatever. Okay.
Not them.
Give me a good side, David.
Yeah.
So, let's see, going down under emergency preparedness, campfires will be put out prior to bedtime.
7:30.
Does this have to do with hours of operation? So, at the mill, if they do any welding, they then have a guy
Yeah.
who stays there for fire watch. And I'm wondering, you gonna have anybody that stays awake till 2 or 3 in the morning or something,
Strolling
or
around.
There'll be,
a night watchman or
there'll be a
something?
night watchman.
If you're going to have a night watchman anyway, I'd like to put that in here as a condition.
Can I suggest, because they're talking about researching standards about this, that I think is gonna answer some of these questions. I would
Oh, okay.
propose we table it till they come up with that plan as part of meeting the ACA.
Sure, sure.
I'm sure there'll be all kinds of specifics they don't have.
Okay.
Well, I'm just definitely afraid of fire and.
The rules for that, DCA, correct?
Yeah, and having certified a few camps, there's a lot of stuff there.
Okay,
Okay, down on E, Roman numeral, small Roman numeral 5, dry hydrant will be installed in the primary stormwater pond. That's the new one you dug above, not of, Marshall's Road, right?
Right.
I'm just curious, why not the big pond?
can.
Oh, that's right, Dan Manson. How about up in Upper Pond? Can't up there yet?
You can't put it in a natural pond anymore, can you?
They're pretty much exempt when it comes to,
Yeah, it's special.
Oh, okay.
when it comes to fire protection, that's raw.
By the time you take the depth of ice cover plus factor safety plus a distance off the bottom,
Yeah, hell
there's
of
a lot of ponds that aren't deep enough for true dry
Yeah.
Big pond is deep enough for it.
Huh?
The big pond won't be deep enough
Yeah.
for it.
We had one there once,
Oh, yeah.
and they wouldn't leave it alone, they spoke up.
How deep is the stormwater pond? I know it's shallow at the end of the day. How deep is the deepest? I'm just curious. Rough off the top of your head, you know?
I think it's around 15 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether we're talking 5 feet or, you know, okay. Okay, so there's some water in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that dry hydrant needs to be of a size and made approved by the.
NFPA standard for dry.
Well, I guess different towns have different hookups.
They do, but usually 6 inches is normal.
Check with Jason. Okay. Because it would really be bad to have the wrong side.
I think 6 inches is a norm for 1,250 gallon a minute pump, that's what we have.
Yeah, whatever, check with Jason. I wouldn't mind seeing a second one up on the upper pond then.
Well, that,
Well, that's it. You know, if something hits the fan up there, there ain't enough water to go around.
we had a fire up there once.
Yep. Was that the one on top?
Yeah, well, we went in by the camp, by Madison's camp, and then the road went to the left out and back there, on the side of the mountain.
But that was different from the one on top of the ledge.
Yeah,
Okay. That also up there. All right.
Who's gonna maintain these? I mean, this is on private property. We just spent $7,000 on a fire truck pump, where we just sucked a whole bunch of gravel into a tank and fucking all out of the pump. So who's gonna maintain these? That's something you're gonna do or something for the,
I wasn't aware of that. So we will. Obviously, I'll be compliant with everything.
I check with Jason.
Basically, it's not a dry hydrant unless it's a working dry hydrant. You know what I'm saying? And if it's gonna be down there to suck yucky stuff and gravel, it ain't a dry hydrant. It's just like.
We have 3 fire hydrants where I work, and the city of Portland won't touch one of them because they're on private property. Although we're on a maintenance facility and everything else, they're laying stuff from Commercial Street in because they won't come on private property and hook up
Wow.
because they don't know what's down there.
Yeah. Well, maybe we have to ask for a yearly inspection of dry hydrants that may be there, just so we know that. I don't know how you do that. Tell the guy, take a deep breath and go down there and feel around. I don't know, but make Jason inspect the hydrants now that are in the town.
They're back flushing.
yeah, they just back wash them now, make sure they'll work, and make sure they'll. But, I mean, we've got some on private, your mother-in-law's over there, there's one there that we maintain.
Yeah, I don't think the private landowner should be responsible for that.
No.
I don't think it should
That's
be.
the first come to mind when I said that,
I would think Jason would wanna do it to make sure it's done.
Yeah,
because the pumps have to be certified and they have to make sure that the water supplies.
yeah,
Well,
They
they
need to be,
they gotta figure out how to use them.
yeah.
I mean, there's always issues with trying to figure out how to hook up to the, you know, how it all works.
Oh, yeah.
Every dry hydrant's different, you know, and you gotta figure out where's the water coming from, you gotta make sure you know.
The biggest trouble we've had in the past is Sebago's is quite different than ours.
Yeah.
Theirs will be a male, ours might be female.
Yeah.
So we try to all take and buy adapters to make sure that they're gonna work. And,
But I don't think we should put any obligation on the applicants to maintain, other than to install it properly and not, you know, do anything to undermine,
yeah.
you know, put up barriers or whatever, obviously I'm not going to, but other than that, I think it's on the fire department. I mean, I think these guys are gonna do more than most because
Oh, yeah.
they've got their own fire engine,
Right.
so they're probably gonna be cognizant of it, but, you know, Giselle's experience, I mean, it's on the fire department.
As long as they give them permission to come on the property.
Oh, yeah.
So you maybe put a condition in
Well,
about
if-
allowing the fire
if-
department to inspect it anyway.
Yeah, if we say that
that's
there's,
together,
if we say that there's a condition that there's a dry hydrant, that implies that we get to look at it and
Yeah.
take water out of it and whatever, yeah.
That's the least.
Well, then we could come up with a maintenance agreement,
Mm,
kind of easement,
right,
something that
yeah,
has input from the fire department and them as to where it'll be located, will be accessed from Marston Road.
Yeah.
So will the pipe be on public property or at least be accessed by public property, and then the private landowner will give permission to the fire department to be able to
right.
access the pond for maintenance and inspection.
Yeah. Is there any significant cost to backflushing those, or is that just a sandy exercise?
no, it's just part of the drainage.
Okay, yeah, cool. And if we need water from somewhere else, we'll come and get it from there too, even if it ain't anywhere.
Yeah, they can throw a floating strainer in, the pond, the big pond, and
Yeah.
stuff a lot of that too.
Actually, what else is around that neighborhood for water?
Not much,
So that's a good thing.
yes it is,
Say,
very good thing.
The town's was after me for a while to put in a dry hydrant in my pond.
I know they will,
Your green
And,
pond?
they haven't done it yet.
no,
It's been 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years.
should be one there, there should be one there.
That would have you more water in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you had, multiple departments and people drafting, you wouldn't have to wait for the next guy to be done. Okay. That'd be a good thing. Go ahead, Josiah.
Number of sites. Okay, primitive recreation. All hiking, biking, and equestrian use will be limited to the campground property. I guess that's something that we have to cover, like, is this a permit and you're talking about just this,
Map 7 lot, whatever.
less than that? Or more than this, you've got a delineation here, which is not your property line, but it's your development line, we'll call it. So are we in this primitive recreation G, are we talking about the development line, or are we talking about the
Map and lot line.
map and lot line?
I assume the map.
I'd like to say the map and lot line.
Well,
But yeah,
That's you.
Up to him.
We'll have further discussion on it. We will give you a complete amount definition of this primitive recreation area.
So that'll go throughout here, we'll be looking at that.
Yes, because it's just, we need to define that because, and we'll talk with Scott about it because I there's obviously some complications if we say a larger piece of land and 10 years down the road, a piece of that land gets sold off, what happens? So, if we have a definite definition, it cleans things up and we'll get that.
I think it's less critical for primitive recreation.
Well, it just
Once
the
we-
whole
Well,
application. will-
ATVs.
Yeah, once we
Yeah.
get, well, that's another thing,
you know,
I mean, horses and people with sneakers isn't too bad.
people with sneakers, one thing, ATVs, dirt bikes,
Well, on page 4, they talk about that in H, the ATV.
yeah, but that's why it's gonna come out.
Yeah, but I still think it's the whole lot.
Yeah.
I think it's the lot, like, I think we're granting a conditional use permit for this piece of property.
Map and lot X.
Map and lot X.
Well,
So,
the property that's for sale, is that part of the Marston land, or?
I'm not sure how it's divided up.
Okay,
The campground, that's one piece over here.
okay,
I'm not sure. It is part of Marston property, yes.
oh, okay, yeah, so that's why it's not map and lot number, because they already put part of this map and lot up for sale.
still part of it until it's sold.
But I mean, that's why they're not taking out a, conditional use permit for the whole map and lot.
But they are,
I thought there was,
Okay,
they are
I
by
thought there was-
definition,
I thought there was like 5 or 6 different lots in this, no?
parcel.
But parcels? Or lot? I thought it was map, whatever lot X is what you've applied for. And there are other lots that are not being applied for that Mr. Efron owns, is that true?
Or is you saying part of this map and lot?
That is true.
Yeah.
At this point, that is true, that this is, in the application, we say it's,
Lot
I think it's.
22, map 7.
Right,
Yeah,
lot
map,
22,
yeah,
map 7, so,
722.
And then Bobby owns over, Robert owns over here, and Scott owns another one over here. Those aren't part of it. It's just this. But it's bigger than that.
but
That's the development lines, not the lot line.
right,
That's what, yeah, you guys are saying the same thing.
And so when we grant a permit, it's for the entire lot.
Yeah.
Parcel.
Well, we
Lot.
talked about.
we will define that lot with a deed. As
What
part of
lot?
this application,
The
for the
development,
campground,
the development space.
for this application.
The whole thing, so it's gotta include the recreation stuff too. If it goes beyond this map and lot number, then it's a separate
I would think so.
Yeah.
Because my thought is, as long as everything is on 7-22, that's the boundaries.
Yeah, but what they're saying is they're gonna split things off of 7-22 and have 7-22A, which being the development lot, 722B being some other portion, 722C is being sold off,
Is that
so.
what you guys are saying?
Is that accurate?
I think that's the way the initial discussions had gone, is that we were going to define, and I thought that's where we were being directed earlier, was to define a perimeter for this campground that would be its own lot, and that our density and use and limits of use would be defined by that deed.
Okay, but the problem is once you get to the edge of the development lot, you're gonna have a sign saying, you must stop, you cannot go beyond this point.
Right, so that's where we need to discuss with.
So Robert's lot's not part of this. Like,
Correct.
Robert's not gonna be able to have people come onto his property and go enjoy his property, cause it's gonna be a sign saying, stop. And then see, the problem is that you have a big piece of property and you're gonna develop part of it. And so, you know, one concern is that you start a subdivision on the outside of it looking in, like, you know, like using this development, to sell other parcels of property on the edge, or to sell parts of it off. So, you know, one's for sale, right? So you sell one off of this, how many more can you sell in 5 years before it's a subdivision?
none.
Yeah. So,
The piece for sale isn't on that lot at all, though. It's down on Marston Road.
Yeah, it's after.
so it's not part of
It's
921?
after Deacon's Road to the south.
Okay, but you said
But
you're
was
gonna,
it part of the Marston deed that you got from the Marston heirs?
I don't know that.
okay. So
I
if
think
you
it
separate,
was, therefore it's part of the.
so once you separate, so the deed's the mother lot, and once you separate things off the deed, if you do three, it's three.
Right,
You
three,
can do,
yeah.
you can
Up to-
split it once,
You can split it
Which
once,
creates
the second time,
Once you create that third lot.
Yeah,
and if the lot you split off can't split either.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure how you're gonna do a development lot.
Well, we will discuss that with landowner and surveyors and make sure that we protect the landowner.
But I mean, I would be very reluctant to review an application where you put it into a different deed in the same person's name. That seems really like you're just trying to get around the ordinance in that case. Like,
No,
you have a property, you're asking for a permit for that property. If you start changing the ownership of that property, it starts to make me concerned.
I don't understand that. We have a huge piece, we had 1,100 acres.
Yeah.
We're not gonna develop that whole 1,100, we had a campground scaled for 600 campsites over a vast area. We've scaled it down to be more friendly, to try to comply. He owns the land, we can't hold that against him. We're asking to develop this piece here. If we're gonna break that off for a different lot, we'll have to.
You gotta do what you want, but, I mean, that's what I say.
okay, moving ahead, number of sites.
But I think the clarification,
Yeah.
is like how many times you can split pieces off of a deed within a certain amount of time. There's an ordinance about that I think they're just saying be careful.
Right, we'll look into that.
Now, with primitive recreation, be limited to the campground property. ATV use, ATV on the property is approximately 300 acres, many existing trails.
so I guess that's kind of where we're going, is like, what are we talking about? You know, it's like, are we talking about 300 acres, then show us what the 300 acres are.
Right. Well, and I guess that's what I was trying to get to, is we will get you meets and bounds of
Yeah.
Yeah.
whether it's a lot or the recreation area or the development area, we will define that.
Show us what the, what are you,
But you're putting on the website, it's 1,100 acres, so, you know, like, that's where I get into the disingenuous portion of.
And we've talked about that 100 times. The website, we put a new application in.
No, but
Let's move.
put aside
The
aside,
website's gonna be redone,
Yeah, but
revamped,
sooner
and
the
matched
better.
that.
but our expectation is you say it's a 300 acre site, it's not a 1,000 acre site, because you're not using 1,000 acres.
Right.
You're not gonna be, outside of the 300 acres, people are not going to be able to engage in primitive recreation. That's not part of this project.
Right.
So if it's 300 acres, that means there's a perimeter of activity in that 300 acres.
Right.
And people are, you know, there's not going to be ATV trails outside of that 300 acres for this project. And I think
Right.
I think you're gonna have problems with that, because I don't think that's the intent of the applicant. I don't mean you two, I mean,
I would like to treat primitive recreation different than, you know, ATV and dirt bike recreation. I don't know why you can't hike or ride a horse on any of the 1,000, 1,100 acres, whatever. I just don't see where that's a nasty problem, but, you know.
Well, I think it's just a general protection of that, the campground, people renting a site aren't just gonna go milling around and walking on everybody's land
Jack
on the mountain.
Murphy
Well, I mean, as long as they stay on Mr. Efron's land, you know, afoot or on horseback, like I say, that's one thing. ATVs, okay, I can see reining them in a little bit, because they can be troublesome and people get a little wild sometimes, but I don't know.
But we'll come up with a
I'd be
better
willing to think about that.
definition.
Loosen,
I mean, can you apply for a permit for just primitive recreational use for the other lot? and
No,
use
it would be
separate application? Is that a way to do it?
it would be a condition, and I don't.
But if it's a separate.
We haven't allowed people to we haven't allowed people to piggyback on to other properties, just like when
Yeah,
we were looking at, the Dodge Oil, that, you know, oh, he might be able to park on somebody else's property, and we're like, no, you can't do that.
But I mean, could you fill out a separate application for that other piece of property?
yeah, maybe,
for a
if it's
particular
worth it, I would certainly
use?
consider that.
I'm more asking like a procedural question.
Yeah,
Can someone do that?
Well, that's an interesting point, yeah. You could have a,
Like for lot, map 7, lot 23, I just want an application for primitive use.
yeah,
Extended from,
yeah.
yeah,
And then, as far as the camper's concerned, they don't care what the permit is.
So then if you chose to sell off part of the land
Yeah.
somewhere else, you would not be affecting this, that core acreage, because you'd have a different CUP you were under. That's an interesting
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
like I say, I
Might answer
think,
your question.
I just think primitive recreation is by definition a hell of a lot,
That's something that we may have people who come into the public hearing who had an opinion on that.
yeah,
So that's maybe something else.
Okay.
Just warning about.
to be determined.
Yep,
Okay, so we've talked about ATV sites at the perimeter.
and then we've got in that paragraph, we talk again about the posted hours of entry. So that verbiage there is affected by the earlier verbiage that we suggested you to take out.
Where is it?
You could say ATV hours of use will be specified.
Right, that'll be in the rules.
Yeah, and clue us in on that too, you know, that,
7 AM to 8 PM. Probably it's 9 PM in the summer,
yeah.
or maybe it's dawn to dusk, you know, because, I don't know, I just suggestion.
Something.
Yeah, something defined.
Okay, rate of entry and inspection, you can,
So it says the town of Baldwin code enforcement officer and any duly designated officer employee of the state of Maine. Should we, ask for any duly designated officer of the town of Baldwin? So if Wes is off in Connecticut or something and.
we can make Jimmy do it.
Jimmy can go do it, yeah. I mean, does that matter to you?
And Wes, do you normally have an administrative inspection warrant when you go look at a piece of property in town hall?
Yeah, smile.
Well, yeah, but the way this reads, I mean, that may just be a misplaced comma, but it reads like Wes would then need that to go on.
It says.
Oh, without, I'm sorry, I
without.
misread that, so that's not a comma problem, it's a reading problem on my part.
So he needs an administrative warrant to come on my land where I don't have a conditional use permit.
Got it.
But with somebody who has a conditional use permit.
Yeah, the same without, no,
That,
I
that
misread
goes,
that.
that's different.
Yep.
Is that right, Wes?
What's the question again?
That, you need a warrant if you go on property, private property, but you don't need a warrant if you go on a commercial property with a conditional use permit.
I can go on any property as long as it's in the, mode of, seeing that conditions or ordinances being fulfilled or work in process. I cannot go into buildings without permission. That's the first thing. I'm going on property, I have a fairly free reign as long as it's oriented towards, looking for violations or fulfilling ordinances.
Do you have to suspect a violation, or can you just say, I haven't walked in this guy's yard before? I'm just curious.
If a selectman comes to me and says, there's something going on,
Right,
such and such place, would you check it out?
yeah,
I can go check it out. And if the owner complains, I'll pull up the ordinance book and says, right here, it says I have freedom to come onto land to inspect for violations or actions.
so you kinda have to have like minimal probable cause.
Yeah.
Minimal, yeah, okay. What's next? Keep a register.
That's not our concern.
That's really,
It can be, that's state requirement? Yeah. Water analysis. So you're gonna have a public water system?
yeah,
Right, so that's
all regulated
under
Yeah, and
public water drinking.
so we'll need to see those permits and where the wells are and all that stuff. Is that on here, where the wells are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't the one,
It is
the
on
septic
some maps
system
that
that had
has
to
to
be
be at least
moved because
300
it's too
feet
close
away
to a
from
well,
the
or
leach field.
something down here somewhere?
There's an existing well near the Marston
Is it a-
house that
Oh.
will not be able to be used for drinking because
Oh.
it's too close to the
Yeah.
septic system.
You gotta paint that purple or something.
Yeah, it's inside of a building, so it's not accessible, yeah.
Dump station. Florence sewer.
Again,
This is,
that's a state
yeah,
campground.
yeah. And the little funnel apron thing, because people will make this. And there's gonna be only one of them? One dump station, and that goes into a holding tank or a septic system?
We need to finalize that with Jim Logan, because if the dump station is going to, enlarge the septic system quite a bit, then
Yeah.
I think it would just be a holding tank, so.
And then you call,
Then it's just gonna be pumped out.
you call Guppy and have it pumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, do people still use that formaldehyde stuff in their RV poop tanks?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that kills, do people still use that?
It's a,
Blue,
like
blue or
deodorant.
green stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that kills septic tanks too. Okay,
Yeah, kills
They kill
bacteria.
the bacteria,
yeah.
It eats grease and stuff like that, so it would, kill
Yeah.
the bacteria.
Okay, garbage.
So we will revisit that, we'll be revisiting the dump station paragraph
Yeah.
to find out what it is that's going on there.
Okay, garbage and rubbish disposal, containers, stuff like that. I assume there's not gonna be one at each campsite, there'll be one for every few campsites. How do we keep the bears and the raccoons out of that?
There's gonna be a process for emptying them and keeping everything cleaned up, all out,
I mean, every night or?
on a need-be basis when the can gets full,
Yeah.
all out.
No, I'm just thinking, bears, they might not be willing to wait for a full can, they might take a half a can, somebody had some bacon grease in it or something. I just see that as a,
If you hear the acres of wildlife, there's garbage everywhere.
really?
Yeah.
You get enough people around there, there's not gonna be an issue.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What was that,
You're more scared of the
what
camera.
was that restaurant up the West Side Road in Conway? And the bears would come to the
Yeah.
dumpster every night?
Oh, yeah.
Ledges or something?
Yeah.
Behind Yellow Bean, my wife works there all the time.
Yeah,
That whole.
They don't hunt bears as well as we do over in New Hampshire, they're everywhere.
We stayed at Adtash Mountain Village, and it's metal dumpsters, and, you gotta make sure the
yeah.
door is locked.
No, up West Side Road in Conway. I don't know if it's still there. It's kinda under the, was it Echo Ledge or whatever that was.
Changed ownership in like.
Yeah. But you could go up there every night, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and sit in your car and watch the bears. And the people from Massachusetts would go by, and they'd have the picture taken next to the bear, and the bear's right over there. It was trouble waiting.
It's gonna be an attraction for you guys.
There you go. Okay,
For primitive recreation.
Right.
Yeah.
a swimming pool. And,
So that's gonna have stated hours? Yeah.
well, only one,
State
one of the
rules.
lifeguards there.
The
Can you
state
put
rules
a
that apply
guide
to
in
that.
one of those?
I'm still,
There are state rules that apply to pools and
Yeah.
campgrounds, and
Ah.
that's in there.
Yeah.
okay, good.
I'm curious, how big?
It changes, I believe it's on there as 40 by 60 now.
And what, like, belly button deep?
Waiting pool.
Yeah. Or a dry hydrant in it. There it is.
So the park amenities and services are limited to paying guests.
Yeah,
Nobody's going into the general store, nobody's going into the restaurant, nobody's going into the pool. I mean, this is all fine with me.
That's what the guard shack is at the end of the driveway.
That's
You
all
gotta
fine
check
with
in
me.
before you come on the
I've
property.
got no problem.
well, that cuts down on traffic.
Yes,
It's, you know, it doesn't turn into, you know, water slide of Old Orchard Beach or whatever.
and it gets rid of, there are all kinds of problems that you're avoiding, I'm sure.
Okay, we got swimming, archery, and canoes and stuff. ATVs will not be rented, that's probably saving your insurance. bill.
No trampolines either, yeah.
And you said you're no way to rent them, right?
No way.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean,
Wait, yeah. Dangerous now.
yeah. Okay, P, the multi-purpose building, community center, general store, and restaurant. In our definition, a community center, no, community building, I guess we have in the definitions, is open to the general public. I don't know what,
This is an accessory use to the campground.
yeah, but I'm just, it's not like a community building like the Dancemore or the Grange Hall would be. It's a private, I would,
Campground
Gated
community.
community, so.
yeah, I know. I almost like to see that changed to a, event center, no, I don't know. Assembly center or something.
I just don't understand.
Huh?
I don't understand what you're differentiating.
We have, you can apply for a community building,
You're
like,
calling it a multi-purpose building.
yeah, called multi-purpose building.
That's what they got.
That's what they call it.
Which will function as a community center, general store, and restaurant.
But it's not a community center, because the community can't go.
For the campground.
Well, it's an accessory
use.
community in Bridgeton with, 48 units, and it has a community center
So,
for that.
so just say, at the end of that sentence, just add the words "for the campground,"
Yeah,
and then you got it.
Yeah.
for the campground patrons or whatever,
Yeah.
customers.
It will be open to campers and invited guests.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Campgrounds tends to sell only basic necessities.
Yes, a community building is a private building used by a fraternal, philanthropic, or other civic organization, which may be available from time to time for community functions. So the one question I had is, are you going to rent out the whatever you want to call it, center, for like weddings and stuff like that? No function events? Okay.
Okay, right.
So do we put that in the CUP?
Yeah.
That there will be no, functions with outside people coming in, or is that
Something to that effect.
stated already?
Well, there may be like bands, we might have bands, something like that. We
But
can't
for
have-
your people, for your customers.
Yeah, you're not gonna allow riffraff like me in there, are you?
Absolutely
All
not.
right.
No,
Per site though.
All right, good.
I don't, where it says basic necessities, no large ticket items, I mean, I don't really mind if you sell Lazy Boy sofas in there, I mean, why?
I agree with Joe, the more they sell, the less people are driving
Yeah.
out of there.
Especially beer, soda. I wouldn't just have marshmallows and graham crackers, I'd go way beyond that.
If you can make money on it, God bless you.
I would take that paragraph out.
Yeah.
Cause that's none of our care.
Yeah.
We don't, the Whistle Stop does not have a town permit to sell beer. They just sell beer. So if you can get a license from the state to sell a six-pack, do it. Again, less traffic, your guy at the gate with the AR-15 doesn't have to worry about who's coming and going. I'd take that right out. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus to the campers and their invited guests, that's something of note.
Is that standard campground language to mention invited guests? Like, is that just?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know.
I might have a friend there who'd invite me, you know.
But I
Not
mean,
likely.
I just making sure in my head that isn't like a workaround for like, well, I have 200 invited guests because it's my wedding.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Like,
Oh,
what?
yeah, yeah.
It's just, I mean, the campgrounds I've been to, there's a policy for visitors, you
Right.
pay $2 or $3, you have to register.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the intent.
Yeah.
I guess after
Limited to
the,
patrons.
some of the things that have gone on with, there was an event or a gathering or whatever, and it's made people leery that there will be only 500 of my closest friends will come to the campground with me. Yeah. And what is an invited guest? How many invited guests? Are we talking about?
I mean, we'll discuss that, there may be,
We don't have to have an
there's a put a
answer.
limit of
Right.
visitors per site. Yeah.
That just, it legitimately has come up now.
Yeah.
Because of experiences we've had.
Yeah.
When I think if it's vague, we just build in loopholes and do whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you can say the building will contain games and TVs and stuff, and that's okay, but again,
Well, I say it.
put in ping pong tables and you don't have to come back for no permit.
Yeah.
Okay. Additional information. Rental cabins.
So I got a question right off the bat.
Yeah.
How big's a cabin?
May vary.
Well, I mean, could I build a 500-foot by 500-foot cabin? How big's a cabin?
You got enough lumber.
Yeah. I mean, like the cottages down in Newport, Rhode Island. I mean, how big's a cabin?
The cabins are limited to no plumbing. I believe that's what it was, right? The cabins had to have cold water only.
Right.
I would like to see a square footage limitation on that. Your choice. You tell me.
You don't have to call us tonight.
Just tell me what you're talking. I don't know what a cabin is.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Some of these hunting lodges out west,
There you go.
they call it a cabin.
Yeah.
Hell, I could turn my house around in that.
Yeah.
Well, backing up.
Yeah.
So, and I think that may apply to everything else in here. How big's a tent? How big's Because I don't know.
My first answer to that, and when you think about it, is that this is associated with a site plan that is to scale and has things represented on it as far as
That's an
areas
answer.
of development.
That's a legitimate answer to me. And I just need that answer.
Well, I think what we'll do is define a maximum footprint,
Yeah.
and that will, I think, will answer your question.
Yeah.
No, I'm easy. I'm not trying
No,
to.
I'm just trying to think of the
Yeah.
answer.
Okay.
As embarrassed as I am to ask again, can you give me your name again?
John Whitten, WHITTEN.
And it's JON.
It is, I'm officially a junior.
So, we did ask you to give us, actually we asked you to give, if you could find the conditional use permits for other campgrounds. Not just a list of campgrounds. I believe David asked for the conditional use permits. Isn't that what you asked for, David?
Well, I asked for a list so we could try to get them.
Yeah.
Okay, is that up to us then, you think?
Well, yeah, I guess.
It would vary by town too, wouldn't it?
It's what?
The rules are different in every town.
Oh, yeah.
I think what David's looking for, what I would be looking for is, I've never done this.
Yeah, what
before.
can we think of?
What have other towns done? Just because I want to know what you should be looking at.
Is that something that, I know there are planning agencies that maybe the town could,
Southern Maine Regional.
consult with, Southern Maine Regional to gain that experience.
Maybe.
Something,
Maybe.
that's just one suggestion, instead of studying up on, in a way, reinventing the wheel a little bit, then you may be able to rely somewhat on a conference with
Somewhere in our
a planner.
land use ordinance, it states that providing information is the problem of the applicant, not the planning board. We can request that you put up a box of money, and we will, after getting a estimate, we'll go out and get a consultant, but it's slicker and quicker if you can, and if it passes the smell test to us, then we won't ask you for any money to go out and hire somebody to do the same work, because, and the trouble is, you'll do it faster than we will. And if time is of the essence in this thing, in this whole process, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I just couldn't, I mean, I did some research, and the one in Standish, they don't even have a permit.
Yeah, they're in trouble down there anyway.
Very odd situation. But, I tried to look around, and I did the research on the list they gave us, but they're not comparable in size or intensity of use. So I tried to look around, and I kept like mentally going farther away to find a similar site, and I really couldn't. And I really couldn't find another site of this size, this magnitude, with the the types of uses. I just didn't see it. And so I was hoping they would be aware of some to help us, because I'll call the planning board, and I'll call the town. They call Standish and talk to them, but I just don't know I don't know who to call. I don't know who's similar to what you're trying to do here. I couldn't find one.
Yeah.
And you have some around, but I don't know. I mean, if you guys can find something similar, I'll do some of the research, but I just couldn't figure it out. I didn't spend a lot of time on that.
Right.
So that's why I did that. That's why I did that thing, is because I couldn't find anything else.
Yeah.
Very curious the wheel.
Yeah, I just, we need to, as far as rental cabins, we need to know what a motel, and we'll talk about it at length later, what a motel is according to our definition, not just according to something I can dream up, and make sure there's something different called a rental cabin. Something about. Okay, liquor license. Applicant's gonna look into it. And I don't think it needs to be mandatory, but it would sure, I think. One of my big concerns is traffic. And if we can cut down on traffic for people making a beer run, if they can get it right there, cool. And like I said, I can't imagine there's too much normal grocery stuff or campground stuff or hygiene supplies or toothpaste and stuff that we wouldn't want to see you having for sale in the store if you want. The more, in general, the more the merrier, I guess.
Like you said, they can sell lazy boys, doesn't matter. Right?
There you go.
They're just selling them to the campground.
Yeah. Okay, and there is a list in attachment 11. And
So, there's something here about, state permits and.
where are you?
On number 5. On page 6.
Okay, you jumped over subdivision. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we covered that.
Okay, no, we'll go to number 5.
We beat it up pretty badly. The state permits, I'd like to see the state permits. Have copies of them.
We can't get them until we have
No, they're separate. We can,
Yeah, if you have them, send them, if you don't, once you get them.
And it would be helpful if when you getting down to section A, basic information, when you refer to Nature's Wilderness LLC, if you were to have comma, a Maine corporation versus a Florida corporation, because evidently there's two Nature's Wilderness LLCs, or soon to be.
This is the Florida one.
Yeah.
The other ones doing that.
So if I could address rumors again. Rumors have been that it's difficult to get a hold of Scott. Rumors about the taxes not getting paid and mail not getting delivered up there. So I don't know what the story is. Is there a problem?
No, and if you're talking about rumors, I'd love to talk about it because I've caught two different sets of people up to the campground, walking around thinking that Scott's House is a restaurant, hearing rumors about all kinds of stuff about the town.
Yeah.
I'm not about the town, but about us.
Yeah.
It is rumors
That's-
on both sides. It's
so-
crazy. But no, Scott's not hard to get a hold of. I am the representative of the campground.
Yeah.
I'm not hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
If people are going about it in proper procedure,
Yeah.
we're easy.
No, that's what you do with rumors, is you talk about them.
Yeah.
That's how you get rid of them, is
Get 'em put to bed.
That's why I said something,
Right.
just so I don't suffer under a misapprehension. No, I don't want to.
Actually, down there, that 787 Sligo or Standish number, whatever it is that a good number still?
Yes. Yep.
Property name, owner of record address.
It's wild, people going out to dinner and go over there.
Well, Chris has a phone.
Yeah. They got a good reputation too, they should go up there.
I heard all they had was spaghetti. Okay, on to page 7, this is all mostly boilerplate stuff. Seeks to permit a campground use for the property. Following uses will be accessory.
You guys just copied my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, just add the ordinance.
Where does the, get me back up to date, where does the service business encompass in this particular? You get the campground overall.
Yes. I believe that would cover I think that was, you're thinking of the restaurant service.
So that's eating and drinking places.
Yeah.
So the service business would be the cleaning or repairing of personal property, teaching people
Swim lessons.
swim lessons.
Okay, gotcha.
Archery.
Yeah.
I'd rather get hit by a bullet than an arrow.
Get it over with.
See you later. Yeah, see you, Jeff. See ya.
So Jim,
Okay, location map, written description of the proposed use, and we're back to 190 campsite. Proposed development, okay.
we gotta focus in on what these things are, more descriptive as to what cabins are.
On which one? Description of use?
I'm just repeating myself, I'm sorry. When I see, a mix of RV compatible sites, cabins, tent sites, and some upscale cabin sites, did I skip over something or not?
No. He's in page 8.
I don't know what this stuff is. I've only ever been camping in a tent on non-official, there's dirt, I put my tent in place. So that may be covered when we do the site walk. I don't know what this stuff is. I need to be educated.
In 12B, where it says there will be a mix of RV compatible sites, cabins, tent sites, and some upscale cabin sites, I assume that you guys could go to the map and give us numbers of each of them, right? Yeah, those categories, that would be handy, tie it right down.
which I believe is on there, it just doesn't have the dimensions.
Well, but where,
Yeah,
you've got 190 total sites.
I don't know that, we had that broken out when it was 216, I don't know that it
Okay.
came back in here.
Actually, go back and break that out again, that'd be cool. Yeah, just have
But it was at one point, but then you took out the other.
yeah, everybody,
Right,
yeah, go back.
But it's on here, I mean, you can, right, like
Yeah.
each one of the sites is designated as a
Right.
type of site.
There will be another key that's showing the triangle that can.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, so
Up to
you.
When we go to a public hearing, we're not gonna ask the public to count them.
Yeah, let's put that in there so that you don't have to go on
Set them up.
a treasure hunt. To find it. It just, again, like you said, at the public hearing, we'll save a whole lot of BS and confusion if we can just say, well, there's 100 of these, there's 50 of them, there's something else and something else. Okay, plan set, proposed development, okay, we got it.
So, may I ask, at some point, where we stop? Wes said he had some other things for us to consider tonight. I just wanna call your attention to that when you come to the.
Okay, well, we're at a big fat section break. I was thinking to go till 9, if we can tuck Wes in now. What do you have to talk about? We'll take a break from this, we might get back to it, we might get not, depending on how complicated Wes's situation is. So, let's just take a mental break. What you got, Wes?
Right there. You have this, Leo Buckley's property, the little piece that was town sold. And,
Okay, this is down across from Kingsley's.
yeah,
Okay, the triangle across from Kingsley,
okay.
okay?
Non-conforming lot, but it is buildable, the dimensions are right, that we can get setbacks and building on it. The question is shoreland resource protection.
Which property is this, I'm sorry?
Pardon?
What's the property, what are we?
Do you have a map?
6, lot 23.
Okay, you go to Cornish, and this summer, before you cross the bridge, there was a little vegetable stand on the left.
Right there.
It's like
That
a
house?
no, it's not the house.
It's a vacant
It's
lot.
a triangle of land that kisses that driveway that goes down to the cornfield.
To the
And
Baldwin
then
side or the corner side?
Baldwin side.
The Baldwin side, it heads up towards where Steve Estes has his,
Railroad tracks on one
Yeah.
side of it.
Yeah.
so that's where it is. Okay,
So I'm looking at this famous chart on the shoreland, under 13, principal structures, uses of 1 and 2 family homes. In resource protection, it's, planning board 9. And 9 is single family residence structures may be allowed by special exception only. So if we look on page 32, which basically, I don't have to read, come on, where's 32, 37? Special exceptions. You have the regular, review for shoreland, but special exceptions. And what it really says, if the land is vacant, if the lot was established before the ordinance change and it is vacant, then it can be used as the previous ordinance prescribed it, not the new ordinance to be in resource protection. Okay, so, but it has, but it has 4 requirements, or 5 requirements it has to fulfill. So, where we're at right now,
What page are we looking at?
shoreland zone, page, 32.
gotta turn this around.
Sure.
Alright, shoreline.
Alright, starting right here.
Yeah.
Can I have permission to throw out the old, applications from Nature's Wilderness, cause I got about 30 pounds.
Yeah. Okay, so if we get a three, all proposed buildings are located on slopes of less than 20%, no problem. Located outside the floodway of the 100-year plain.
Yep.
I believe he's in a floodway.
No, I've looked, and it's not.
That house flooded in 1953 or 4. The house down on the,
Yeah?
on the.
This land is a little bit higher and,
Not much.
okay,
Okay.
according to the flood zone map, and I've looked closely, it's not there.
Okay.
It's close.
I'll take the word for it, because I haven't looked at it. The total footprint of all principal, including cantilever and overhanging, is 1,500, not all of them. All structures are set back from the normal high water land of a water body tributary stream or upland edge of a wetland to the highest, but not less than 100 feet. Now, the stream there goes under the driveway and a culvert, so he's gonna be 100 feet this
That
way.
stream is 75 feet away from his rear line, and he can put his house on his property and be 106 feet away from the stream. And that
Okay.
stream comes down through
Yep.
my land there.
Up behind West
I've never
Nelson's
known it
house.
go above its bank, and it's intermittent from mid-July to mid-September. It's usually dry.
I know.
And the geologic survey map has it indicated as being an intermittent stream.
When I lived in that house,
I know.
I saw it over the driveway. But if he could get 100 feet from that, and then he's gonna be 100 feet from
The
the
road.
center line of the highway.
He's got about 28, 29 feet to build in. If he puts a 24-foot house or a 20-foot
Right.
house, he's safe. And he's already had Ken Gardner map out a septic system and everything. He's golden. So right now where we're at, I did write out a permit, because I was given information that the state had not accepted the shoreline resource protection plan, but then learned it was in June 14th they did.
Yeah.
He's scheduled to go before the Saco River Corridor Commission, I believe, the third week of January.
Yeah.
And once we clear that, then I'll aim him and get here to see if you guys put him through.
Okay. The planning board going back to special exceptions. The planning board may approve a permit. And what's he gonna build? Like a house?
A house.
A residence?
Yeah. It started out to be a camp,
Yeah.
and it's turning into be a retirement house.
Huh. You remember when cars used to come down the hill and hit the railroad track and go tumbling into there? Oh, God.
I know I've had 5 accidents in my driveway because they done it to make the hill,
Yeah.
and the shocks bounce all over the place when they go to the railroad track, and there's a curve right there, so
Yes.
it bounced right into my gullet.
Yeah. Okay, the lot on which the structure is proposed is undeveloped indeed, was established and recorded before the adoption of the RP district.
So Les, are you saying he goes before the Saco River Commission and then he has to come to us for an exception?
Yeah.
All
It's
proposed,
two separate.
So it's time for us that don't have the property memorized or didn't live there to go look at it.
yeah,
The Saco River will deal more with the river and setback and erosions and ecology, and we deal with building and dimensions and setback.
now, can he get his house and his septic system in the window?
Yeah.
And far enough away from his well?
Yes,
Holy shit.
the well doesn't require a setback. But the well has to be at least 100 feet from the leach field, but there
Yeah.
are exceptions,
Yeah.
and it can be accepted down to 50 feet, and sometimes, distance instead of being horizontal can be to
Yeah,
where the
right.
casing is,
Right.
so, yeah.
I want my well as far away as I can.
Yeah. And as far as resource protection, one side of his property, that driveway is on his property, it's not,
That is a dispute.
No, the surveyor came up and surveyed it, and actually, today I was with him and took the two rear pins and stretched the cord across there, an 8-inch cord, and did our measurements and whatnot.
That is in dispute.
Okay,
I have heard from the owner of that property,
Yeah.
the owner of that property, and we had that surveyed a million years ago when Lester Locke owned that property.
okay,
And the survey that they had at that time, 40-some odd years ago, said that the line, where that driveway is now, was not. That's a matter of legal dispute.
I think he had it surveyed about a month and a half ago.
That's okay, but
Yeah.
a survey is basically a license to go to court.
Yeah, okay.
That property is
Yeah.
that driveway is in
Okay,
dispute.
so anyhow, one side of the property is driveway, the other side is highway, the third is SD's construction equipment, so the only expensive spot is the rear line.
Yep. Okay, located outside the floodway.
How's the dispute about the driveway?
And all letter.
In terms of granting an exception to build a house or not?
It probably, as long as it doesn't impinge on the footprint,
Shouldn't matter.
it doesn't, it's a civil matter. But to bring it up as somehow relevant is, like I say, that's in dispute.
Okay.
And, it's in dispute. But it's a civil matter. Okay, the total footprint, 1,500 square feet, 100. Okay. So it looks like, in addition to the criteria above, and that's the 1 through 9, it has to comply with all of those.
Yep.
And the
Yep.
planning board has to.
Okay, I wanted to bring it up so that you.
Okay, we're aware of it,
For it, yeah.
and we'll have to.
There's something about, the land over here near, 113 and Deacon's Road that was for sale, and I heard something
Out
about.
across from Matt Fricker's, maybe?
Yeah, about across from Matt Frickers, yeah.
That was the problem with access,
Yeah.
and Matt won't let him use the very last end of Deacon Road.
Yeah.
He owns property on both sides,
Yeah.
and so they're trying to go around. They have a 141 acre property and a 57 acre, and to get the 57 acre not using Matt Deacon Road, they have to go around. There's a little wet section there. It's less than 10 acres. I would say it's probably 1.5 acres, 2 acres. Might be seasonal, and
Is there another way they can get through to the wanted
it's gonna
property?
be a lot longer, but yes, they can use the old lot, when they logged off the area
Right.
during the summer, they created a logging trail
Okay.
through there, and that's a possibility.
So it's not an impossible hardship, they have an option.
They have a couple options.
Okay.
And it's how much cost does the owner put into it in order to sell the land,
Yeah,
something like that, and
that's not a planning board
and-
problem,
and-
though. That's a problem that the applicant, the potential applicant has created.
it's not a planning board problem unless it's decided that they're blazing a driveway through a resource protection.
Yeah, then it is.
Other than that, it's not.
But the fact that I may have to go, way around Robin Hood's
Yeah.
barn rather than there,
Yeah,
that's a personal preference.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's not a hardship.
It's
It sucks, but it's not a hardship.
it's a money decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess is that the planning board, a lot of these wetland laws I think are excessive, but if we're gonna follow the ordinance, I think the planning board would have a hard time voting for convenience over the wetland.
If upon examination I thought it was worthwhile to bring it before the planning board, it would be based on the wetland is undersized. and that there is a rule that you can go from point A to get to point B through a protected area.
But if there's another alternative,
Yeah,
it's just,
that's.
like I say, if he was
big.
hemmed in by,
Yep.
ledges and stuff like that, in somebody else's land, and, then he's got a
Yeah,
problem.
that's big, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so, gentlemen, there's a good chance that I'll be off in the sunny Pacific. By the way, the high temperature every day in Saipan is 84, 85,
Just like West Baldwin.
and the low temperature every night is 79. And they don't have a weatherman out there because it's just too boring. Anyway, you may have to deal with that.
They have the squalls 3 miles out off the coast.
Well, every once in a while, a typhoon comes and rips the hell out of everything. But, okay, it's 8:45. Do we wanna push ahead for another 15 minutes, or are we brain blown or what?
I've got a question here.
Yeah?
So we've been through a lot,
Yeah?
and we've asked you some questions, and you've got some revisions to do. How do you want to handle this? Do you want to revise as we go along, and we'll rip these pages out of the book and put in new pages? How are you going to handle that?
We might as well finish the process instead of printing new papers every time, right?
Yeah,
Cost effective wise.
yeah.
So does it matter on your end to have the verbiage in the first few pages, right?
Well, it matters to me that before we go to a public
Yeah.
hearing,
It's gotta be,
we get this ironed out. And we probably
So-
want to go through the verbiage you come up with.
Right, so my thought is, on that is, we could easily revise and replicate the cover letter before section 1.
yeah.
The deed never has to be updated.
Right.
Or,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, you could give
uh,
a section.
the application, you know, yeah, so short answer is, I'd like to do it section by section.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
there's a
makes sense to
revision,
me.
then we can
Well,
slip it in or replace.
Yeah, I'd like to keep pushing on, and maybe we'll have one more total version of this that shows up at the
Yeah.
public hearing time.
And then there's another thing that I've been troubled, because I've seen what I'll call, it starts with the foundation that got poured without a permit. And then it was the two recent things of forgetting to renew the corporate license, whatever you call it, the LLC. Because I got an LLC, and every year in February, they send me an email, and, it's just, even I can fill it out, it's really simple. Except this year, they must run out of money. I got a letter in the mail, and my LLC, $84 is due before the end of the month. Right away quick, so they must have run out of money. LePage wants to pay some debt.
I got email.
You got email?
Yeah,
I got a letter
email.
this year.
Yeah.
And you gotta pay before the end of the year?
Maybe your email bounced, and so, for whatever reason, it happens sometimes.
Yeah. They
Anyways,
don't
go
send
ahead,
the
I'm
email
sorry.
out till February. But anyway, so Robert Sheeran didn't reply to the email from the Secretary of State. And then the submission not getting in electronically. And I'm saying, there seems to be, it's sort of like things kind of drop by the wayside here and there. So I would like to know that when we grant a conditional use permit, that things don't get dropped by the wayside after we've granted, and that it gets followed. That's important. That's what we're here for. So I'd like to see an escrow account that the selectmen can draw on to pay for enforcement. And it may be that, after good behavior for X number of years, the escrow account can go away. But maybe for the first 5 years, that there be an escrow account in place, the selectmen can draw on to to pay for Wes's time, to pay for whatever lawyers or whatever has to be paid for to see that the conditional use permit is enforced.
Is that normal procedure, or is it just because of the rough start that we had?
Well, I'm sitting here trying to think. I like the idea in a way, but I'm trying to think where in our land use ordinance there is provision for that. And I think, I'm afraid that if we put that in and the applicant walked into court, the judge would say, show me where it is in your normal blue book. Well, if it ain't there, okay, get out of here.
Well, what I'm doing is I'm asking them if they would voluntarily do this so that we would grant the conditional use permit. Because the answer to this is going to influence my vote.
But I don't understand.
That's a,
Personal.
if the planning board can find reason to ask for that, then we have no control. I don't think, I certainly wouldn't advise any of the people that I work for to voluntarily form that.
So my reason for that is that
I'm no lawyer.
there's a history of dropping things out, of not getting permits or renewing permits or doing what you're told. There's a history there. It's not like, you're coming in, never done anything wrong. As Norm has continually said, if you guys had come in 2.5 years ago, this wouldn't have come up.
We'd be done.
We'd be done. But it
And I
has
thought that's
come
what
up.
we were trying to do when we started a new application, was sort of burying the hatchet, not clearing the slate, but trying to bury the hatchet.
Well, I think that we're burying the hatchet, but I think what Josiah's getting at is a lot of stuff just gets lost, and I think it's stuff that may not be your corporate responsibility or John's, but like I say, the whole LLC thing, man, if this board had issued a permit to a Florida LLC that wasn't allowable to be operated in the state of Maine, I don't know what we would have had, but we would have had some very annoyed townspeople in town. Is Mr. Efron represented in the state of Maine by a lawyer who is knowledgeable of things in the state of Maine and is accepted to the bar? I mean, a project this big, I just think it would be.
The LLC thing, I believe, was a misunderstanding. Because it was supposed to be, if you're conducting business in the state of Maine, he isn't conducting business in the state of Maine. He's asking for permission to conduct business.
All right.
That's really neither here nor there, I think, right now.
Well, I think what we're getting to is we need to know that we're not wasting time here and you're not wasting time here, and that, we're working hard to come up with reasonable conditions, nothing over the top, but nothing that just says, hey, go and do what you want to do. But we want to know that
we're not asking.
Isn't there provision for performance guarantees and things like that, before a occupancy permit, or?
Maybe that's what we need, is performance guarantees. I got the wrong word.
Now, why don't we do this, because this is not the conversation to have at 8:54, because, I mean, it's an idea to be raised at 8:54, but I don't think that, it makes sense to go too deep into it, because I think there are some viable alternatives to answer your concern within the ordinance. So maybe now that Joe's introduced this idea,
think on it.
We'll think on it, you guys think on it. I don't think it's, double negative. I think it's a legitimate concept. It's just a question of how to do it in a way that's not oppressive, but still addresses your issue. So why don't we think about it, and then when we're kind of fresh, come back and think about it, come back. So
What's that?
I just don't think now is the time to have this discussion. We made some great progress, and so let's keep doing that, okay?
Yeah.
So I'd actually move to adjourn.
Okay.
I think the secretary said so.
Wes, what do you have? Something quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Little addition to this.
Okay, we're gonna adjourn that.
Joe's thought and request has some merit to it, but I think the other way to look at it is when a violation happens or things change from the CUP that's in question, the first normal process is to approach them and talk about it, try to resolve it. And that's the normal process, it has to be done. And you make 3 attempts.
Well, I think that's what we're into now.
And then it goes to the segment. My experience so far, with other situations in town as well as Nature's Campground is they're cooperative and they come around and change. Now, in the event that they don't, then it goes to legal action. It's gonna cost money.
Yeah.
But usually a decision is made by the selectmen is, we don't take it to court unless it looks pretty good that we're gonna win. And therefore, we're gonna get paid
Well,
by the loser anyhow, sooner or later.
we got stung up at Mayor's Pit, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
it could happen.
and I think there is a whole bunch of people are snake bit at doing much of any enforcement that's gonna cost more than 50 cents. I mean, it's just,
What I think I'll just put this in a little bit, and I may
Yeah.
be out to lunch, but I'm thinking that, yes, you're talking about a performance bond. It's the same as you had for a gravel pit that was, you know, say they didn't clean it up, or whatever, along those lines.
So, you know, part of this is, I wanna know whatever we put in place, you guys are gonna be willing to enforce.
There's a performance bond there, I think we have to, or at least it gives us the chance to, and have legal repercussions and money to operate with.
I agree with David, he moved to adjourn.
Yeah.
I'll second the
Our
motion.
secretary left, so I really,
we're adjourned.
all right, move adjourn second,
Yeah, all those favors, aye.
All right.